The Trump-Epstein scandal is built on lies. Pam Bondi promised names and videos but barely delivered. Why? Either Trump exploited victims or was involved. Now reports show even Bondi clips were edited. Metadata proves Trump's lies are caught on video. We're going to get into it all. Before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting the work that we're doing on this show. Now, before we can get into that breaking news report, I want to take a look at why Republicans are so scared, how scared they are when questioned on Trump and Epstein. And that comes from Jamie Raskin right here.
We could actually have a hearing. Here's something we could agree on, Mr. Chairman, on a bipartisan basis. Why don't we have a hearing on what the whole country's talking about right now? If you turn on TV and go on the internet, why don't we have a hearing about the continuing suppression and cover-up of the information in the Epstein files about a child sex ring run by powerful people? The whole country, not just Republicans and MAGA, but liberal Democrats are in an uproar because President Trump, Attorney General Bondi, and their allies in the DOJ and FBI repeatedly claimed in public that the Epstein files have the names of power elite actors involved in human trafficking and sexual abuse of minors with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and they promised to release all the information in the name of maximal transparency. You remember that? They said this would be the most transparent administration in the history of the United States. But now they're shouting nothing to see here, sweeping it all under the rug, steadfastly refusing to release the files despite broad bipartisan demand to release the Epstein files after everything they've said publicly. The Democratic members of this committee sent a letter today at 2 p.m. demanding that the president keep his word and release the files to the American people, and that Chairman Jordan call a bipartisan hearing where we can work together to get to the bottom of this. How about a hearing on that? Do any of my colleagues want to talk about that, or does everybody want to talk about George Soros? I'm curious to know which of my colleagues support our call for a bipartisan hearing on the Epstein files.
Republicans can't even answer why they're covering for Trump, Epstein, and the billionaires tied to these crimes. They said they'd release the truth, but now they're too scared. They don't even know what's in the files. The most transparent administration is hiding more than ever, even as Trump keeps making promises like he did this morning. And calling all of that out is Jasmine Crockett, right here in this clip.
Mr. President, your daughter-in-law said that there should be transparency in the Epstein case. Do you agree with her, sir?
The Attorney General's handled that very well. She's really done a very good job, and I think that when you look at it, you'll understand that. I would like to see that also, but I think the Attorney General, the credibility is very important, and you want credible evidence for something like that, and I think the Attorney General's handled it very well.
How many more?
So Donald Trump is saying that Pam Bondi is going to be transparent. Pam Bondi, she released all you needed to know. That's been the line from Trump in the White House, that they don't want to cause any more problems. It's why they've given you all the footage, all the documents that you need, and they've been untampered, untainted. But that is not true. And it was just revealed in an article that we're going to get into right here. The FBI's Jeffrey Epstein prison video had nearly 3 minutes cut out. Metadata from the raw Epstein prison video shows approximately 2 minutes and 53 seconds were removed. One of the two stitched together clips. The cut starts right at the missing minute. Newly uncovered metadata reveals that nearly 3 minutes of footage were cut from what the U.S. Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation described as raw footage surveillance video from the only functioning camera near Jeffrey Epstein's prison cell the night before he was found dead. The video was released last week as part of the Trump administration's commitment to a full investigation of Epstein's death, but instead has raised new questions about how the footage was edited and assembled. Wired previously reported that the video had been stitched together in Adobe Premiere Pro from 2 video files, contradicting the Justice Department's claim that it was raw footage. Now, further analysis shows that one of the source clips was approximately 2 minutes and 53 seconds longer than the segment included in the final video, indicating that the footage appears to have been trimmed before its release. It's unclear what, if anything, the minutes cut from the first clip showed. The nearly 3-minute discrepancy may have been related to the widely reported 1-minute gap between 11:858 and 22 a.m. that Attorney General Pam Bondi has attributed to a nightly system reset. The metadata confirms that the first video file, which showed footage from the August 9, 2019, continued for several minutes beyond what appears in the final version of the video and was trimmed to 11:58 p.m. mark, right before the jump to midnight. The cut to the first clip doesn't necessarily mean that there is additional time unaccounted for, but the second clip picks up at midnight, which suggests that 2 clips would overlap. Nor does it prove that the missing minute was cut from the video. In response to detailed questions about how the video was assembled, Wired sent a request for comment to the Department of Justice at 7:40 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Just 2 minutes later, a spokesperson for the DOJ replied, "Refer you to the FBI." With the FBI declining Wired's request for comment, Wired's initial analysis found that those saves took place over a 23-minute span. However, further analysis of additional metadata shows that the file was actually edited and saved several times over a period of more than 3 and 12 hours on May 23, 2025. Specifically, the file was created at 4:48 p.m. and last modified at 8:16 p.m. that day. The metadata also references MJC:1, which is likely a shortened version of the longer name. While it likely begins with MJ Cole, the full name cannot be determined from the metadata alone. So now even more tampering has been revealed in what Trump will surely call a perfect video. What was claimed to be just a 1-minute camera reset turned out to be 3 minutes of poorly stitched footage. No answers from the FBI, the DOJ redirects, and only Democrats are asking real questions. That's why I'm glad Eric Swalwell spoke up. This clip is right here.
Because you're promising to unearth something. And I do want to note, because I think some people might be surprised at a recent CNN poll by SSRS, which was done after DOJ released that "there's no there" memo. And we're seeing about half of Americans saying that they're dissatisfied with the amount of information the government has released about Epstein. It's actually Democrats who are significantly more dissatisfied with what has been shared. Are you possibly playing into some conspiracy theories they may hold about what are in these files?
I'm playing into the idea that the President of the United States and the Attorney General said there were files. They have now said they're not going to release anything. I think they should release what they have, and then we will all see what are in them. If there's nothing in them and you have nothing to hide, then why don't you show them to the American people? I think that's how most people feel, whether you're at a bar or a bus stop. That's just kind of the man on the street take, and that's what I'm representing.
You're promising, though, to unearth something. And I do wonder, as you look at the president having promised to unearth something and not delivering much in his administration, if you potentially, if Democrats might be setting themselves up promising to unearth something if there's really no there.
Well, we may unearth that Donald Trump is just a world-class 24-karat bullshitter, and there never were files, but he said there were, and Pam Bondi said there were, so if they are there, they should give them to the American people.
Okay, I ask these questions in good faith because you and so many of your
That's your
colleagues
job.
have
No, I
said
know.
that trafficking and conspiracy theories are dangerous. So I think it's very important that we are very clear about this.
It's so disingenuous when the media asks if Democrats are overpromising. We're not the ones exploiting victims or turning this into a political game. Trump broke his promise. And that reflects a bigger DOJ problem. It only serves him. Republicans may keep covering for him, but Ro Khanna calling it out. This clip is right here.
Last night, the Speaker's Rules Committee voted to block my amendment that called for the full release of the Epstein files while protecting the victim's identity. Let's just be clear. They voted to protect rich and powerful men who were abusing, assaulting, and abandoning young women. That's what this vote is about. A nation that chooses impunity for the rich and the powerful at the expense of our children is a nation that has lost its moral purpose. So you ask, why did they vote this way? Let's speak plainly. Because these rich and powerful men donate to the politicians in Washington, D.C., play golf with the elites in Washington, D.C., they are foreign leaders who we don't want to offend. They interact with our intelligence agencies that we don't want to disobey. There is something rotten in Washington. And this is a question of whose side are you on? Are you on the side of the people? Are you on the side of America's children? Or are you on the side of the rich and powerful who've had their thumb on the scales and shafted Americans for decades? We are going to get a vote again this afternoon. And I hope people will find the courage of a Republican like Ralph Norman, or a Republican like Marjorie Taylor Greene, or a Republican like Thomas Massey, or the many, many MAGA Republicans who are demanding the full release of the Epstein files. It's not a question just of Epstein. It's a question of trust in our democracy. It's a question of restoring a government of the people, by the
gentleman's
people,
time has
for the
expired.
people.
Just a moment. Does the gentlelady wish to yield any additional
Another
time?
30 seconds.
The gentleman has an additional 30 seconds.
And it's a question of the rebirth of a nation that stands for our children. I hope everyone in this up or down vote will vote to make sure that the Epstein files are released while protecting victims' identity.
We need to keep voting on this again and again. Make every Republican go on the record. This is not just a conspiracy. It's a class issue. Trump is protecting himself and his billionaire friend tied to Epstein because the system works for the rich and fails everyone else. Take a look at Donald Trump, the well-connected, work-free while he talks away your healthcare and SNAP benefit. Thanks for watching this video, and if you stuck around at the end, you can drop the blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.